Oops.
Now we're going live.
All right, and it'll be 20
Public
seconds, and
challenge.
I'll go live.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get your
we're
Six,
mind
going
attention.
live.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There it goes. Well, it still hasn't gone yet. Go.
Yep, time for me to
There it
leave.
is.
But it
Oop,
should.
there it is. All
Ain't run
right,
for you.
I'm on.
You would think mine would come on first, right? I'm like literally in the same
Well,
room.
yeah, you would think.
You way over there in Florida.
Right.
Mine
That's
still
a
ain't
long way
came
to
on.
go. And yours is right in there.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have a little bit more than a 20-second delay. Guess
Uh,
that'll be all right.
There's
All right,
Cyrus. Hi,
everybody.
Cyrus. Hello,
It's
Cyrus.
time to start.
Woo!
Well,
Ooh.
is it really? 7:03. Yeah, we're gonna start.
703.
I mean, you're only 3 minutes late at this point. You have another 12 to like hit your max.
Usually I hit it around 6 or 7 minutes after.
Right.
Well, I haven't been
Well,
here.
we're good.
No,
We got a good group here tonight.
that's
And I haven't seen nobody falling out the ceilings, so we might as well get it started.
All right.
Welcome to Hooligans Underground, y'all. Welcome to the standing room. Standing room only. It's got 2 names. So everybody, hope y'all had a good, safe 4th of July. If you're American. If you ain't American, well, hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah, it's still the weekend.
Huh? Still,
Huh?
Yeah, it was a weekend.
It
Yeah,
was the weekend. That's what I said. It was still.
hot
So.
summer
It
weekend.
was the
Especially in the southern
time of
hemisphere.
my life.
And it was probably
Eh.
cold.
Oh, down there.
Way down under. You're freezing down there, y'all. Alright. Boudreaux and Thibodeau, y'all. They got
All
fired.
right.
warm. No.
Fired. Gone.
Oh.
Put out of
Oh.
there. Let me tell you. They go to the unemployment office, and Boudreaux goes in first. Oh man, I told y'all this one last week. Alright, so what I'm gonna do,
That was funny. That was a good
I'm gonna
job.
How
flip
come
the
you got?
page. Here we go. A midget
Okay.
in Texas went to the doctor because his testicles hurt all the time.
Oh my
Ow.
goodness.
That's
The
got.
doctor told him to stand on the examining table, drop his pants. Well, the doc put one finger under the left testicle, told the midget, turn your head and cough. Usual method to check for, a hernia. Aha, mumbled the doctor, and putting his finger under the right testicle, he asked the midget to cough again. Aha, said the doctor, with his surgical scissors. Sharp one. Snip, 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 snip. To the right side. Snip,
Hey.
snip, 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 snip. Bunch of them to the left side.
Ouch.
The midget was so scared he was afraid to look, but noted with amazement nothing hurt, no pain.
Wow.
Now the doctor then told the midget to get dressed, see if his testicles still hurt. Midget was absolutely delighted as he walked around the doctor's office and discovered that his testicles no longer hurt.
Hey.
The midget replied, he said, Doc, I didn't even feel it. What did you do? Doctor replied, I cut 2 inches off the top of them cowboy boots. Midget was hanging low, y'all. Kind of like curb feelers.
That's kind of like hanging real low. Holy crap.
All right, here's another one. I didn't
That's-
tell y'all this one last week. Boudreaux and Thibodeau. Hey, y'all, you know what I just realized? I just told y'all a non-Thibodeau joke.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
wow.
was non-Boudreaux. Non-Boudreaux.
And fuck.
Oh, man.
I should have changed the names to protect identities.
Right.
I mean, I'd have left the Texas midget in there because, Texan midgets are funny, no matter what.
Excuse me. Like, oh.
Hey, Louisiana midgets are just as funny, especially when they get alligator fighting and stuff.
That's hysterical.
All right, Boudreaux and Thibodeau out on a golf course last weekend when they caught up to two ladies a little bit ahead. Now they was playing really slow. After a couple of holes, they couldn't take the shit no more. And Thibodeau said, "Damn it, Boudreaux, I'm gonna go tell them women, play faster, get off the damn course." Walks towards them two ladies, but after going about halfway, turned around and came back without saying
Uh-oh.
anything. Boudreaux looked at him like he was a little girl. He says, "Thibodeau, what the hell?" Wait a minute, I lost track.
Oops.
Here we
Forget
go.
who went walking first. That was Thibodeau. All right, Thibodeau came back. He says, "I can't go talk to them. One of them is my wife, and the other one is my girlfriend. Side chick, bitch." Now, Boudreaux says, "Well, never mind. I'll go tell them. I can handle this." Boudreaux walks a little way, but also stops dead in his tracks without saying a word, turned around. He came back. Thibodeau, "I thought you was going to go tell them to move." Boudreaux says, "Yup. I couldn't tell them a damn thing, Thibodeau. I got the same problem you had."
Oh, no.
I think we could do a little deduction and figure out that was Clotilde and Marie.
That's right.
All right, one more. We'll
Oh,
do it
man.
like- It's another Thibodeau. Thibodeau was doing some work for Boudreaux down at the farm, and Boudreaux had sent him way out toward the back of the property to fix a fence. It was early in the morning. Well, mid-afternoon rolls around, and Boudreaux hadn't seen or heard from Thibodeau. And Thibodeau should have been back for lunch. So Boudreaux gets on the CB radio and he said, "Thibodeau." Thibodeau responded, said, "Boss, I'm running late because I hit a pig, and I'm stuck with it out here in the back of the farm."
Uh-oh.
And Boudreaux says, "Well, don't worry about it, Tib. Things happen. Drag it off into the ditch so nobody else hits it." And he says, "Look underneath the seat. There's a 12-gauge shotgun. Shoot him and throw the carcass in the ditch." Thibodeau, "Okay, boss, whatever you say." Now, a little while later, still no Thibodeau. The Boudreaux, he gets back on that CB. He calls him again. He says, "Thibodeau, what the hell? Why you taking so long?" Thibodeau responds, "Boss, I done what you told me to do, but I'm still stuck." And, "Did you do exactly what I told you to do? To shoot him and drag him off the road?" Thibodeau replies, "Yeah, I did that. But his motorcycle is still jammed up under the truck." Pig on two wheel, y'all.
You hit a pig.
Oink, oink. I seen a bunch of them down in the interstate last week. That dude must have weighed like 400 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Harley. He was kicking
Yikes.
too. All right,
Poor
open
Harley.
mic time, y'all.
Share.
Tell it.
Share has some.
Yes, here we
Come on
go.
up
Share's
on the
coming?
stage, Share.
Sure is.
Hey.
See him moving. All right, everybody, let's welcome up.
Well, thank you, Nick. Thank you, y'all.
All
Okay,
right,
I'm going
Cher.
to tell y'all this joke I told last night. I thought it was so funny. I just giggled all the way after I heard it. Okay, so there was these three hillbillies, and they was sitting on a porch shooting the breeze. And the first hillbilly says, "My wife, she sure is stupid. She bought an air conditioner." And the second hillbilly said, "Why is that stupid?" And the first hillbilly said, "We ain't got no electricity." So the second hillbilly says, "That's nothing." Said, "My wife's so stupid, she bought one of them fangled washing machines." "Well, why's that stupid?" And the other one said, "'Cause we ain't got no plumbing." So the third hillbilly says, "That ain't nothing. My wife's dumber than both your wives put together. He said, I was going through her purse the other day looking for some change, and I found 6 condoms in there. The
Oh,
first and
no.
second hillbilly looked at him and they said, What? Said, What's so dumb about that? And that third hillbilly said, She ain't got no pecker.
So we know what she's been doing.
And one more.
That's
Okay, so it's the final round and it's a $64,000 question. And only 3 remaining contestants are left, an Englishman, a Frenchman, and a hillbilly. So the question is, finish the following song title and spell the answer. Old MacDonald had a blank. The Englishman goes first and he says, estate. Estate. The announcer says, Sorry, wrong answer, but the right spelling. Meanwhile, that hillbilly, he's going nuts over there. He's getting so excited he can't wait. So the Frenchman goes next and he says, Ranch. Ranch. The announcer says, Nope, sorry, wrong answer, but the spelling was right. That hillbilly, he's jumping up and down over and he's so excited and he screams out to the announcer, turns and says, For the $64,000 answer. That hillbilly hollers out, Farm! E-I-E-I-O! I thank you.
Them damn hillbillies. Them damn
Yeah.
hillbillies.
All right, big man, share.
All right, share. Way to go,
Thank you,
share.
y'all.
good job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
them hillbilly jokes is better than my Cajun jokes. For sure.
Yeah.
They're fun.
I come back
Ah.
over here and set by happy times. Me and her's gonna listen to some jokes.
Awesome.
Nah, y'all, Boudreaux, he got robbed, y'all.
Oh no.
Now, he was returning home from work, and Boudreaux was shocked to find his house ransacked, burglarized. Now, he phoned up the police at once to report the crime. The police dispatcher on call broadcast out the call on the radio, and a canine unit patrolling nearby was the first one to respond. Now, as the canine officer approached the house with his dog on a leash, Boudreaux ran out the house to meet them. The policeman shuddered. Boudreaux shuddered at the sight of the cop and his dog. He then sat down on the steps, looking extremely exasperated.
Huh.
Now, putting his face in his hands, Boudreaux moaned. He says, I come home to find all my possessions stolen. Then I call the police for help. And what do? They send a blind friggin' policeman.
Oh damn.
You know, he had a dog. We'll let that one just slide.
Seeing eye dog. Got it.
Yeah, seeing eye dog for a blind policeman.
Maybe I picked the wrong one. Anyhow, Boudreaux and Thibodeau were driving down the levee the other day, engaging in their favorite pastime, drinking and driving. Now, as they rounded a turn, they saw state police roadblock dead ahead. Thibodeau says, Boudreaux, if them troopers see us with this beer, we going to jail. And Boudreaux, he said, don't worry, Thibodeau. We'll just pull over right here, finish our beers, peel the labels off the bottles, and stick them on our foreheads. And throw the empty bottles in the canal. Oh, I'm sorry, the bayou. They ain't gonna know nothing. Now, Thibodeau, he's confused. He said, what the hell that's gonna do? And Boudreaux, he replied, he says, you just be quiet. Let me do the talking. They do all that stuff. Beer labels on their foreheads, and they drive up to the roadblock. The first thing the trooper asks, "Have you boys been drinking?" Now Boudreaux, he points to his forehead and replies, "No, sir. We used to drink, but now we on the patch."
That's
Instead of the
cute.
drinking.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, one more. One more, then we'll do open mic. Think of some funniness going on up here. All right, again. Crazy coon asses I was driving around. This time, it's Thibodeau and Hebert. They was driving down the interstate. And Thibodeau was only driving 10 miles per hour on the interstate. The
Oh,
traffic flying by him left and right. 18 wheels was swerving all over trying to keep from slamming into them two boys. And the traffic was generally in chaos. Now, State Trooper Boudreaux, sitting near an overpass, saw this and proceeded to pull over Thibodeau. Trooper Boudreaux, he asked Thibodeau, he says, "Why you going so damn slow?" Thibodeau said, man, officer, I always drive the speed limit. Look there, a sign right there, and it says 10. I can count 10. Boudreaux looks over, he notices Hebert shaking and sweating like a scared little cat. And he asks him what the problem. Hebert says, "Boy, I sure wish you had stopped us 10 minutes ago when we was on Highway 182. Alright, zoom wide. Zoom wide. Open mic time, y'all. Again. Or,
okay.
I'll tell you another joke.
Well, do you have some tonight?
One more joke, then somebody's going up there. Somebody's gonna go up there.
Alright, one more joke then. Boudreaux, Marie, and their little young child, little Tofield. He's
Oh,
gonna call him T. Tofield sounds weird. They decided to go down to the big city of New Orleans for the very
Oh.
first time in their lives.
wow.
Yo,
Big-
when they got there, they was in awe of everything they saw. They had never seen so many tall buildings in their lives. Now they walked into one of them
Wow.
big old tall buildings and were just looking around, you know, browsing. And Marie suddenly, what y'all know, she had to go pee, right?
Of course.
Had to go pee. And she suddenly went to the ladies' room. So she asked for directions and walked off to find it. Now, meanwhile, Boudreaux and little Tofield were just waiting, sitting there in the lobby. They saw these two big silver doors slide open. They saw people going through them doors. Now, one particularly homely looking lady walked through them doors. And after they closed, they noticed the numbers over the doors changing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Not that fast though, of course. A minute later, they saw the numbers changing again. 4, 3, 2, 1. And when them
Oh.
doors opened up, what had to be the most beautiful lady in the whole damn world came out from behind them two doors.
Wow.
Boudreaux and Tofield mouths fell wide open as they saw this lovely lady. And
Oh.
Boudreaux, after regaining his control, tells Tofield, little T, he says, "Quick, boy, go find your mama. We got to get her through them doors." Y'all had enough yet?
All right, I will.
All right,
All
Pepper.
right, everybody, let's welcome up.
Pepper.
Way to
Pepper.
go, Pepper!
Hi, everyone. I hope
Hi,
you
Pepper.
can
I hope my fan isn't too loud. Alrighty.
Okay.
A beautiful young woman arrived at a party. While scanning the guests, she spotted an attractive man standing alone. She approached him, smiled, and said, "Hello, my name is Carmen." "That's a beautiful name," he replied. "Is it a family name?" "No," she replied. "As a matter of fact, I gave it to myself. It represents the things that I enjoy the most: cars and men.
Ooh.
Therefore, I chose Carmen." "What's your name?" she asked. He said, "BJ Tits and Golf."
That was funny. Too bad I had to play.
That was good.
That was good.
Almost spit spaghetti across my monitor.
My grandson got kicked out of class today.
Oh no.
Oh, the teacher asked him, if I gave you $20 and you paid $5 to Katie, $5 to Mary, and $5 to Jane, what would you have?
A lot of sex.
Well, apparently 3 blowjobs and enough for a burger was the wrong answer.
Damn.
I was having a drink with my girlfriend when she started complaining about how all men are the same. Well, without thinking, I said, "Nobody said you had to try them all."
I like that idea. Way to go, Pepper.
All right, Big
Woo,
Apple got
Pepper.
the-
Good job, Pepper.
That was good. Thank God, try them all, you hear?
Yeah, well,
Variety.
Hello, Devon. Glad you could join us.
we got another one in. Another new
Yeah.
case
Right over there.
of Devin. How you doing, Devin? Welcome in.
Hi, Devin.
I work with a
Hi,
Devin.
Devin.
You the boy I work
All
with?
right.
Come on in.
I don't think that's Devin I work with. All right. Welcome in anyway. All right, y'all. This time, Pierre and Boudreaux was flying Cajun Airlines down to the Mardi Gras.
All right.
Now, Boudreaux was flying the plane, and Pierre was in the back, fooling with the cargo equipment stuff. Just generally, goofing off. Now, the plane hit some turbulence. It started bouncing around. Boudreaux got knocked unconscious.
Oh, no.
Yup.
Oh dear.
Plane started drifting. Now Pierre, he come running up to the front of the and Boudreaux, he come running up to the front, and Boudreaux was sprawled out all over the steering wheel. Well, Pierre don't know nothing about flying.
Wow.
He's starting to get panicky. He's getting to get nervous. He grabbed the microphone and hollered, "Mayday, Mayday, Mayday, Cajun Airline, 90210. Boudreaux,
No.
he knocked unconscious and I don't know nothing about flying this here airplane." Well, comes back. "This is control tower." Someone answered. "Don't you worry about nothing. We're gonna explain how to land this plane step by step." I guarantee it. Had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, guaranteed.
I guarantee. Justin Wilson down there, guy in the airplane.
Ooh-wee.
He says, "First of all, you got to tell us, how high are you? And what is your position?"
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, thought for a minute. He says, "Well,
Pretty.
I'm 5'10", and I'm all the way to the front of the plane." Y'all, this joke is written in Cajun. I'm having a trouble reading it. It's screwing me up.
You're all
I'm
sick that you can
5'10",
read Cajun?
and I'm all the way to the front of the plane. There you go. No, 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 says the tower. What's your altitude? And where is your location? Again, Pierre says, man, right now, I got a Poe attitude, and I'm from Thibodeau, Louisiana. No, 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 came an exasperated voice. I needs to know how many feet you got off the ground and how you plane is in relation to the airport. These details, right? Now, Pierre, he starts to panic by all this shit. He says, counting Boudreaux's feet and mine together, we got 4 feet off the ground. Now, I don't believe this plane related to you airport. Now, there's a long pause. The silence was deafening. And suddenly, the tower. We just need to know who your next of kin is.
You done give up on
Cause
that
you about to
shit.
crash and burn, bro. I don't know why that joke was engaging y'all. That's
Kiss your booty goodbye.
You're about to crash. That's too good.
alright, I told you on that one. I told you on that one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Boudreaux and Marie
Education by the
was
toe.
walking through the town square the other
Good
day
one.
when they spotted a wishing well. Boudreaux threw a penny down the well and made a wish. Marie decides to try it too. She leans over to throw her penny in, but falls into the well,
Oh
drowns.
no.
She's dead.
Oh, damn.
no.
Boudreaux
Oh, no.
jumping up and down. Damn, it worked.
Oh, wow.
He got his wish.
Yep, that man's wish came true. Poor Toefield now, he ain't got no mama.
Oh boy.
One more. And
And
the one. This is gonna be the one.
gonna be the-
86-year-old Boudreaux.
Oh my
Now, he's in the
goodness.
doctor's office for his annual checkup.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Doctor said, Boudreaux, you're in great shape for your age. Is there anything else I can do for you? Now Boudreaux says, well, there is one thing, Doc. My sex drive is kind of high. Can you
Oh.
lower it?
Wow.
The doctor can't believe what he's hearing. He said, that's amazing. You're 86 years old, Boudreaux. What do you mean your sex drive is too high? Boudreaux says, that's right, Doc. It's all in my head.
Wrong head.
Then you lowered a couple feet. I can relate that.
Yeah.
Good.
You need to send me that one, Dick. I'll tell that one Monday night.
Yeah, copy paste it. Right.
Of course, I'll give you credit for it.
No, you don't got to do that. I
Always
ain't giving
know
credit
who
to the
gives
person
it
who wrote
to
it.
me.
I guarantee I stole that joke off the internet.
It's
All
all
right.
good.
After living in South Louisiana all of their lives, Boudreaux and Thibodeau ain't never been duck hunting, which is crazy. I mean, look out my back window, I could shoot a duck anything. Now they decided to give it a try one day, but spent the entire day having no luck at all. Not one duck got shot that day.
Damn.
Now, they was determined to stay as long as there was daylight to keep from going home empty-handed. But still, the sun set, they ain't had no ducks. Now they finally gave up, and as they was driving home, they discussed what they might have been doing wrong. They had all the best equipment, expensive shotguns, the best duck calls money could buy, everything. Thibodeau, he tells Boudreaux, he says he thinks he knows the problem. Boudreaux, I think we just wasn't throwing them dogs up high enough. Alright. Spin the camera around, get
That
all
was
the
funny.
and say, open mic time, y'all.
I'll go.
Alright, okay.
Okay.
Everybody, let's welcome up
Alright.
Wild Kate to the stage.
Yay.
Yay, why
Yay.
not?
All right. Yeah, Wild Kate, not why not? She's not here. Okay. Yes. Some really lame, sorry ass jokes from me, so that the good ones can come later. Okay. So I asked this bloke how long the next bus was going to be, and he said, well, about 30 feet. He told you it was lame. I like all these new people here. Devin and Cyrus and Cyrus and Happy Times and Faisal. Glad you all came by. Now there's Tish. Thank you all for coming by, and I hope I don't chase you off. But I promise there'll be some better jokes next. Okay, I'll continue on now. I just passed a whole field of sheep on the bus today. What they were doing on the bus, I don't know. While driving, I had an accident with a magician. It wasn't my fault. He came out of nowhere. Illusionist. Have you heard about the magic tractor? Not the one on Sis- No, it turned into a field.
I turned into a field.
Turned into a yes. Yeah, these are pun type things. Do you know today somebody complimented me on my parking? They kindly left me a little note on my windscreen which said parking fine. So,
Oh,
How nice of them.
here's a good sailor. Here's a good sailor one. Do you know what really floats my boat?
What?
Buoyancy.
Zoo that in water.
A container ship full of blue paint had collided with a container ship full of red paint. And now the crew have been marooned. You mix blue and red together, you get marooned.
Yes.
That is wonderful.
I got really emotional this morning at the gas station. I don't know why, but I just started filling up. This actually is true. Do you know the most dangerous part of a motorcycle? It's the
What?
nut. It's the nut that connects the seat to the handlebars.
Oh,
All right.
That is the writer.
Did you know? Well, everybody knows that light travels faster than sound. And that is why some people appear bright until you hear them speak.
oh, true. Very, very
that
true.
is
Okay, let's see if I can pull this one off. Two Eskimos sitting in a boat were chilly, so they lit a fire and it sank. And once and for all, proving that you can't have your cake and eat it too. The early word gets the worm, but the late worm gets to live. I like that. These are all kind of true, aren't they? A fine is a tax for doing wrong, and a tax is a fine for doing well.
That's for sure.
True.
Money can't buy happiness, but it sure makes misery easier to live with.
So true.
If you try to fail and succeed, if you try to fail and succeed, which have you done? Or did you
That's
succeed?
deep.
Did you-
Good point.
I know, right? If anything is possible, then is it possible for something to be impossible? That's gonna give me a headache. That's gonna, that's gonna give me a headache. You know, just watch out now, because the light at the end of the tunnel, you think you're done, that light at the end of the tunnel could be an oncoming train.
Freight train.
Oh, it could be.
Shasta Coyote.
Yeah, right. You know.
Ambition is a lame excuse for not having enough sense to be lazy. Oh yeah, here we go. Yes, without a plan, hey, if you don't have a plan, nothing can go wrong. So I'm liking that. You don't want nothing to go wrong, don't have a plan. Make a man a fire and he'll be warm for the night. Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life.
Good point.
Here's a good one for people like me who do talk too much. A closed mouth gathers no foot.
Those are words of wisdom straight out of a old Chinese man mouth.
Familiarity breeds children. Ain't that the truth? It keeps abortion clinics happy. If practice makes perfect and nobody's perfect, why practice? Why bother? What's the point? Never trust a man with short legs. Never trust a man with short legs. His brain's too near his bottom. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad.
Yeah, good point.
Heard all that before. I was surprised when she put her head on my shoulder. I didn't know it came off.
That's a good Halloween joke.
Oh, okay. What am I doing on time? Let's see. How come Miss Universe is only ever won by people from Earth?
Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened to other people in the
Where's the
universe?
Alpha Centauri? Where's the Alpha Centauri represented? Here's a nasty one. I'll end it with this one. Speaking of Klingons. What do Star Trek and a piece of toilet paper have in common?
What?
What?
They both fly around Uranus looking for Klingons. And on that shitty joke, I'll go ahead and get off
Thank you,
stage.
Wild.
That was
Woo! Good
all
job.
right, big hand for Wild.
Hey, thank you all.
Hey.
Way to
I'm
go.
Awesome.
You have next,
All right,
brother?
y'all. Sorry to say this.
Oh.
It's back. No Thibodeau jokes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Y'all know Abel, the
Yep.
wildlife and fisheries agents down there on the bayou. Well, he been trying to catch Thibodeau up to no good for a long time.
Oh,
He
yeah.
knows Thibodeau up to no good. Because them Thibodeau's always up to no good. Now he watches Thibodeau every single day, leaving in his pirogue the big old lunch pail and a 6-pack of beer. Every day, Thibodeau comes back with a big old haul catfish.
Wow.
Now, only thing is, Thibodeau never bring a fishing pole, a hook, a bait, a bucket, nothing. It's a lunch pail and beer.
Hmm.
Now, Agent Abel decides he gonna outsmart that Thibodeau.
Uh
Them Thibodeaus ain't that bright, you know.
oh.
Now, the very next morning, Bear waiting by Thibodeau's pirogue. And here comes Thibodeau, lunch pail and beer. And he decides he's gonna butter Thibodeau up real good. Thibodeau, he says, every day I see you come back with that boatload of catfish. Nobody fish as good as you. I say you the best damn fisherman on this here bayou. Now Thibodeau gives him that big old Thibodeau grin. Ain't no arguing with that. Now, Bear keeps going. Thibodeau, he said, my wife, she likes some fish, but I can't never catch fish like you. She told me I should come to you and ask you to show me how to fish. Could you do that? Well, Thibodeau points to the boat. He says, I ain't ever liked you, Bear, but your wife ain't never done me no harm. Jump
Oh.
on in, and I'll show you the right way to catch my catfish. So they row out into the basin, and Thibodeau finds him a spot. He hands Bear a beer, then cracks one open, takes a drink. He points to that lunch pail and tells Bear, he says, all you got to know, right there.
Huh.
Bear, he's confused. How you gonna fish with some boudin, Thibodeau? Apparently he opened up, they got boudin in there. He said, how you gonna fish with boudin? Now Thibodeau opens that pail. He pulls out a stick of dynamite, lights it, and tosses it into the atchafalaya, right in the river. Bear is excited. His plan to outsmart Thibodeau worked like a charm. He said, I got you now, Thibodeau. I've been waiting years for this moment. Now, Thibodeau, he ain't concerned. He don't give a shit. He said, nah, Bear, you think this fishing is illegal? He said, you're darn right it's illegal. Now, Thibodeau scratches his chin and makes his thinking face. He said, well, what happened if I saw you fishing like this? Well, Thibodeau, you ain't never seen me fishing like this, 'cause I ain't never fished like this. And Thibodeau says, well, Bear, just supposing I did see you fish like this, what would happen? Well, Thibodeau, just supposing, I guess I couldn't turn you in or you'd turn me in. Now, Thibodeau, he takes a big old drink of that beer, lights another stick of dynamite, and tosses it right in Bear's lap.
Oh, oh.
He said, Bear, you gonna sit there and talk all day, or you gonna fish?
That's
That joke
good.
was so long, I was even wondering what the punchline would be.
That was
Especially
good.
when they said boudin, I was like, what?
I bet he's gonna fish now. You'll be fishing now.
I tell you, the fish be tearing up the boudin. Some of y'all probably don't know what that is, huh?
I do.
What's
We
boudin?
make gator eggs down here.
Okay, all right, y'all know.
I love gator eggs. It's rice sausage, and they put sometimes
is.
there's liver in it. It's delicious.
Yeah, it depends on
Delicious.
where
We
you
stuff
get
it in
from. They put meats in
jalapenos,
there.
wrap a bacon around it, and put it on the pit.
Oh, good Lord. And be
Call
ready
them
to call
gator eggs.
911 because you're about to have a heart attack.
It's
Oh,
delicious.
but you're gonna die happy.
Yeah, you will.
Guarantee.
Or
All
your
right,
butt will
open
be on
mic
fire.
time. I see Jim's positioning himself.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna
Jim's
get out
got
the
the
way
position all set.
and say,
All right,
everybody, let's
Jimbo.
welcome Jim to the stage.
Woohoo!
Yay,
Go,
Jim!
brother!
Thank you. Someone was asking me earlier why I'm so tall, and the answer really is so I can be appropriate appropriate height for this mic. A koala bear walks into a brothel and he picks out the best looking girl and he heads upstairs with her. He eats her out and he's doing things she's never even heard of.
Damn.
Oh.
After about an hour, he gets up and heads out the door, and the girl stops him and demands payment. Well, Koala doesn't understand. She says, look up prostitute in the dictionary. He finds it and he reads a person who trades sex for money. So the koala says, look up koala. She does and reads koala, an Australian native animal that eats bushes and leaves.
That's good.
Cute. Very cute.
But I'm fun.
Boy smiling and pointing at the man. He's saying, ha, I know what you've done. Well, the man's red with embarrassment. Could you keep it down, son? He said, and he gave the boy $10 and take this and forget you ever saw me. So the man then hurries home. When unlocking his front door, he looks behind him. He sees the same little boy from outside the brothel, who's apparently followed him home. Ha, now I know where you live, the boy shouted. The man walks over and slips the boy another $10 and tells him sternly, take this and keep your mouth shut about all this. Now scram. Later that night, the boy's mother found the $20 in his pocket and demanded to know where he'd come by it. The boy eventually told her, and she was furious with him. Tomorrow you're going to church. First thing in the morning, you'll confess what you've done, and you're going to donate every single penny of your blackmail money, she told him. Well, the next morning, the boy goes to church as instructed, where he enters the confessional, and he makes the sign of the cross, and getting ready to start his confession, he looks up through the window. His face lights up, and he says, ha, now I know where you work.
Oh, you preacher. Oh, wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Way back in 1849, a gold miner goes to a brothel. He'd worked and saved, but when he asked for a girl, they were all too expensive. Madam handed him a small wooden board with a hole in it. Said, here, you can look at the girls and use this board. You'll barely have to pay anything. Well, the miner agreed, and he looked at the hot girls and had his way with the board. Well, every week he'd come to the brothel and use the board with a hole while he was looking at the girls. And after a month or two, he comes to the brothel, and the madam hands him a board with no hole. The miner asks, where's the hole? The madam says, well, you're a loyal customer now. You've been upgraded. You've earned a virgin.
Oh,
A young Texan who's still a virgin traveled to a brothel in Dallas to see what he'd been missing. He walked in and soon he was in bed with an attractive hooker. She could tell he was inexperienced, so she took his hand and placed it on her moneymaker and asked, is this what you're looking for? He said, I don't know, ma'am. I'm a stranger in these parts.
I get it.
Good, then you can train them the right way.
The local brothel's been losing business, so the owner decided it's time to add some new faces to her stable. She advertises that they're hiring, so the next morning there's a huge line at the door, and everyone wants a job. She can only hire 3. So she decides that she's going to test them, find the most talented ones. She put something in the ass of the applicants, and while blindfolded, they have to guess what it is. The first lady, she puts in an eggplant, and the applicant says, eggplant, and the owner says, okay, you passed.
Wow.
The next one gets ready. She slides in a cucumber, and the applicant says, cucumber, and the owner says, you passed. The next one comes over. She bends over, and she puts that, it's orange, that thing that rabbits eat.
Carrots.
Carrot.
Oh, you passed too.
I had to open my mouth.
Appreciate you.
That's good, Jen. God.
Brothel says, what can I get for $20? And Madam says, I suppose I can let you have the surprise room just this once. What's the surprise room? She says. She says, well, I can't tell you. It would be a surprise. It wouldn't be a surprise. It's something a little different each time. So she showed him to a room down the hall, and in the room there was a box. He opened it and found a chicken. Well, he figures, what the hell, and he had his way with the chicken.
Oh, damn.
Poor
God.
chicken. Kind of rough.
Damn. Poor chicken. That's foul. That's a good one, Devin. That's foul.
Later, the guy returns $40 and he asks, "What can I get for $40?" And she says, "Do you like to watch?" He said, "Yeah, that sounds like fun." So she leads him down the hall to another door. He walks in, sees another man already in the front row, so he takes a seat in the back, and the lights fade and the curtain opens, revealing a man having sex with two beautiful women.
Ooh.
Man says, "Wow, this is a great show." The other guy says, "Yeah, you should have been here last week. It was a man having sex with a chicken."
Oh my
That's
goodness.
good.
Was he embarrassed?
That was
I found this joke. I thought Nick would like it. Bear, Boo, Thibodeau were getting their hair cut and a shave. As Bear's barber was finishing his shave, the barber reached for aftershave and he said, "No thanks. Lisette will think I've been to a brothel." Then Boudreaux's barber asked if he wants aftershave, and he says, "Sure, Marie doesn't even know what it smells like inside a brothel." Thibodeau's barber looks at it. Tib says, "Let me call a brothel and ask Marie."
Oh! Oh!
Those two are always in trouble.
A little person walks into a bar with a honeycomb and a donkey, and he asks for a beer. The bartender brings the beer and asks, "What's with the honeycomb and the donkey?" The little man says, "My wife found a genie in a bottle." And he holds up the honeycomb and says, "She asked for a house fit for a queen." Then he pulls it over and he says, "She asked for the finest ass in the world."
Ah.
The bartender says, "Well, what was there a third wish?" And he said, "Yeah, she asked for my penis to hang down past my knees."
Yeah. Here's the
Says this-
fine colors.
That sounds great. The little person says, "Yeah, except I used to be 6'3".
Ooh.
Somebody cut off the top of my boots earlier.
2 inches.
Oh, that tied into Nick's joke.
That was good. That was a good one.
Very good.
It's a small world.
Bum.
Hey, Cesar.
I was missing on the beginning of this joke, but I'm just going to tell it anyway. Sue says, "It's okay. We get it on every week, but so it's no big adventure. How's yours?" Sally replies, "Well, it's just great ever since we got into S&M. Well, Sue is aghast. "Really,
Wow.
Sally? I never would have guessed. Would have gone for that." And he says, "Oh, sure, Sally. He snores while I masturbate."
Oh my goodness.
Oh, boy, is he missing out.
You got to figure out what the first of the joke is, but it's still pretty good. One day, Mom was cleaning Junior's room, and in the closet, she found a bondage S&M magazine. This was highly upsetting for her. She hid the magazine until his father got home and showed it to him. He looked at it and handed it back to her without a word. And she finally asked, "Well, what should we do about this?" He looked at her and he says, "Well, normally I would say spank him."
Yeah. 'Cause you never know what you'll find when you're snoring in masturbation magazines.
Or he might like it.
That's the conundrum. An elderly gentleman went in for his routine checkup, and the doctor smiled and said, "Well, sir, you're in fantastic shape for your age. Anything bothering you?" The old man says, "Well, actually, Doc, there is something kind of strange. Every time I make love to my wife, after the first round, I'm burning up, but after the second time, I'm freezing and shivering. What do you think's going on?" Well, the doctor decided to examine his wife as well, and after her checkup, the doctor said, "Well, your husband mentioned something unusual. He said after the first time you make love, he's burning up, and after the second time, he's shivering. Do you have any idea why?" She says, "Oh, that's because the first time's in July, and the second time's in January."
Oh! Ah!
Oh my
Dang.
goodness.
He's not getting much, is he?
Well, brought home, but it constantly insulted her and said rude things. No matter what she tried, the parrot wouldn't stop. Well, Christmas time came and she got anxious because her entire family was coming over to celebrate. Well, Christmas dinner came around. The parrot was totally silent. After dinner, the parrot said to the woman, I am so sorry for my past behavior. I was completely out of line. The woman was surprised, and then the parrot said, what exactly did the turkey say?
I gotta go now, y'all.
Aw, bye,
Thank you
Cher.
for
Aw.
Thanks for coming.
Good night,
I
Cher.
love y'all
Okay. Have a good time,
Bye,
Cher.
y'all.
Thanks for coming out. It was
Thank
good
you.
to see you tonight.
Thanks
Thank
for coming,
you.
Cher.
If you could come back anytime.
All right, I got one more. Nick, come back on up to close it out. A woman comes home from a visit with a hypnotist and declares to her husband, those headaches I've had every day for years are totally gone. Her husband asks, what happened? She said, well, the hypnotist told me to stand in front of a mirror and repeat 3 times, I do not have a headache. I do not have a headache. I do not have a headache. And they just vanish. And she says to her husband, your lovemaking could use some improvement. Maybe the hypnotist can help you too. He was offended, but he booked an appointment anyway. That evening, he comes home and he tells his wife to get naked and wait for him in the bed, and he runs into the bathroom, and moments later, he returns and gives his wife the most mind-blowing night of her life.
Wow.
She gets, wow, that was incredible. Her husband winks and says, don't move, I'll be right back. So off he goes to the bathroom again. Round 2, even better.
Damn.
He asks her, are you ready for some more? She agrees, just to see how long this can last, but she decides to peek into the bathroom where she sees him chanting, she's not my wife, she's not my wife, she's not my wife.
Oh no! He's out of there. He's out of there.
That was the last one.
Well done,
At least it
Jimbo.
was a good one.
Woo, Jimbo.
Good
All right, big
job,
hand to
Jim.
Jim, y'all.
Woo!
He's
All
out of
right,
there.
y'all, we got like 1 minute left. If you
1
got
minute.
a joke and you're dying to tell it, now's the time. Don't matter how nervous you are. Don't matter how dumb it is. Now's the
Especially
chance,
after my jokes. Anything else is better.
especially. I mean, do we really want to hear another Thibodeau joke? I mean, come on.
Sure. We love to know jokes.
Well, yeah. Look forward to it every week.
That's right.
Well,
Anyone? Anybody?
chance going once.
Thanks for coming
Chance
by.
going
Happy
twice.
times.
Thank you,
Hope you
happy
come
time.
next week. We'll be
Yeah,
here again next week.
don't be a stranger. Keep a landmark.
Yeah.
Join the
Or
group.
just
all
or
that
be
good stuff.
strange. Yeah, make a landmark. Or click, there's something on here, get a landmark. Anyway,
All right,
Yeah, the good-
everybody.
okay.
8 o'clock sharp, y'all. 8
It is.
o'clock sharp. That means we survived yet another hour right here at Kins Underground.
Yay! I'm so glad we did.
And I want to thank everybody for coming, sharing your jokes with us, sharing your laughter with us, and of course, sharing your time with us.
And thank
Now,
you, Nick, for hosting, having the club to come to have a
Yeah,
good
you're very
time.
welcome.
Always. We love it.
Now, Thursday,
I'm not happy with the crabs, but thank you for sharing, whoever that is.
I don't know what the theme is. Anybody? Let's see. Let me spin
It's still the
camera
park
around.
theme. It's still the park
And
theme.
it is
We'll have to check.
firework. Yeah, okay. Same as last week.
Oh, that's right. I'm not going to be here. Durr.
Means we don't
Oh,
know.
we're gonna miss you, Porcelana.
I'm going to miss being here, too. I'm going to miss y'all.
You're gonna go
I'm
take care of
sad.
your brother. That's
I'm
gonna be
going to
good.
take care of my brother, yes. I haven't seen him in a long
He's
time.
gonna really enjoy that. That's gonna make his
Yeah.
that's gonna make his spirits go way high. I know it will.
For sure.
I hope so.
All right, so I'm gonna sign off the YouTube. And we're
Good night,
gonna shut this
YouTube.
show
Thanks for
down
watching.
and see if I can
Night.
do things and roll the credits without screwing everything up. Kind of did
Okay.
all right last week. First, I gotta kill the audio guy.
Oh, there goes Ron.
Good job, Nick. Good
Wow,
job.
there's a lot of stuff
Did it. That's what I think you remember. Yay! Good
Except
job.
you don't have. There go the critics.
Yay! Okay, guys, I'm gonna sign off. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Porcelana. Have a nice
Love
evening.
y'all. I will. Thank you. See you next week. It will. It will. Good night, booty girl. I love you so much. Good to see you back. I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Aw,
Good night, brother.
yeah. How come my name wasn't on?
Hello, Cesar. Cesar. Okay, good night,
Ah.
everybody. Hugs.
Good night, Porcelana.